Les voy a esperar con pausa. Voy. Vamos a cantar, vamos a cantar. Ok. ¿Lo aceptas, por favor? Vamos a cantar, a ver. Hola. ¿Cómo se prende? Hey, everyone, please come back the meeting, please. In this moment, we are aboard other team. Para que se vayan animando a entrar, vamos a cantarles una canción, por favor, porque ya queremos que se vengan. Bueno.
Thank you.
Soy vecina de este mundo por un rato. Y hoy coincide que también tú estás aquí. Coincidencias tan extrañas de la vida. Tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio. Y coincidir. Si la vida se sostiene por instantes. Cántala en francés.
No.
Y por instantes. Y un instante es el momento de existir. Si tu vida es otro instante, no comprendo. Tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio. Y coincidir. Ok.
Rose, Rose, bom dia.
Ok. Bueno, aquí tenemos en línea ya algunos compañeros de Brasil. In the meeting, we are partners from Brazil. He listen in English only. The interpreters arrive more later. Okay. In this moment, we are present of information from CI in the different moments.
We will now discuss those people are dead. Our friends from the CE, Rogério Pantoja. He was a coach from the trade unions. He was member of the IC. Rita, por favor.
Sí. Sí. Solamente uma coisa. Momento. ¿Dónde está la otra? Sí. Bueno, esto mismo, the Union of Brazil, Trade Union of Brazil, the Central Trade Union of Brazil, and with this important organization, all the organizations of the World Social Forum. And in this year, we lost some colleagues, some activists, some people. They are very important for us. This is one that caused to we are not here in great delegation here, because it was a great impact for us when they died. And I'm talking about, Rogério Pantoja. Rogério Pantoja as a high dirigente, her leadership of the food. We lost him in the process. We were organizing ourselves to come here. We lost Nalu Faria. Nalu was high leadership of the World Marshal of Women. And Angela was another high dirigent of the youth. Then we'd like to make this homage to them, and to say it's very hard for us to not have them with us now, but they are alive. Viva Rogério Pantoja, viva Ângela, viva Nalu Faria.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rogério Pantoja, presente. Ângela, presente. Nalu Faria, presente.
Agora e sempre. Muito obrigada, Rita, pelas palavras. Agora que estão as pessoas conectadas de todo o Brasil, nós abraçamos a eles, neste momento tão duro, para nós todos no CI, neste momento tão complicado, tão complexo para nós.
It is a moment very complicated for us because those people was with us in the IC, all social forum 20 years now that they are with us. And it's very difficult to lose a lot of friends, those ones, but also we lose Abdelkader. He was also a member of the IC from Morocco. We lose Pierre Baudet. He died last year. It was also, those people are the foundation of the IC and all the World Social Forum and the thinking of the World Social Forum. This is life, must continue for them and must continue for the next generation. I think it's very important. And we close this because it's too triste.
Yes. Bom, neste momento, vou chamar a Carminda. Eu estou falando pouquinho portunhol para honrar a nossos companheiros do Brasil. Carminda, por favor, você está aqui presente?
No,
Não está?
Está na reunião jornalista.
Ok. Então, não. A primeira pessoa que vai falar aqui, vai apresentar, na historiar um pouquinho do CI, é Pierre. Não?
Okay.
Tampouco Pierre?
Pierre. Okay. We do another. Okay. To finish, sorry for this confusion, because we have a little problem. The problem is about the agenda. The agenda is too tomorrow we cannot do it because tomorrow there is the movement, the movement, Nepalese movement, could not be here. I don't know why, but we touched that some of the group will be today here, but they are not here. And tomorrow also we want to listen to them. And this is why we will change a little bit the agenda. We will continue today to discuss about the Tunis consensus, the history of the WSF, not the WSF, but the International Council. We have 2 points on that. The first point is the discussion we have in Tunis. We have some recommendation in Tunis. Something is done, but other things not done. Second point is the point of the discussion or recommendation of the task of the IC in the Casablanca. And those 2 points, there was Carminda who will speak about this, the Tunis recommendation, and we will get Pierre to speak about the Casablanca tasks of the member of the IC and how the IC function and everything. I know that there is a lot of people here who don't know how we work, how is the council work and everything. Now it's in a moment to explain to the people who are not member of the IC how is the functionality, what we do, what our task to do. And this and to begin with this discussion, I think in my proposition to begin with Pierre about the task of the IC to see yeah. Ah oui, aussi? Okay. So on est d'accord? We are all right? All right for everybody? Pierre? Okay, Carminda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So, as Hamuda just said, we had a meeting in Tunis in December 2022. That was actually a very rich meeting, and we arrived to some consensus actually about a number of things. And I think I'm just going to read it so everyone can know what it is. It's like a few points, but I think it's really useful for all of you to know what it is about. So the IC affirmed. Okay, so this is a Google DeepL translation, so maybe the translation is not so good. So bear with me. Okay, so the IC confirms that the WSF is an open space that must be perpetuated. This is the first point. The IC welcomes the initiative of a World Social Assembly. The name was still to be confirmed. It recognizes that this is an autonomous process supported in particular by those who propose the assembly. The IC recognizes the importance of integrating greater diversity into its membership. The IC recognizes the need to organize according to feminist, anti-racist, decolonial, nature-friendly, anti-capitalist, and anti-militarist principles. The IC recognizes the importance of gathering analysis of territorial dynamics and global and regional geopolitical trends, and of moving towards an updated understanding of capitalism. The IC expresses the need to evaluate and clarify the impact of the WSF in each territory where it took place. This is why tomorrow we're going to be listening very carefully to Nepalese perspective. The IC relaunches or creates the following commissions and calls for the participation of its members in them. So the following commissions: methodology, strategy and monitoring, communications, support for facilitating groups of the WSF events, the IC recognizes the importance of strengthening and updating WSF communications, particularly in order to give greater visibility to struggles. The IC recognizes the importance of setting up a mechanism to mobilize new resources, particularly financial resources. And the last one, but not the least, the IC affirms a consensus on the overall WSF process, which includes the WSF event so this event that just finished, as well as the autonomous process of the World Social Assembly and the thematic, regional, continental, and local forums. So the family of the World Social Forum. So shall I read the tasks that came out of Casablanca 2013?
You can have a discussion or explanation, and after we go to the
just to say the tasks are kind of linked to what I just said, and there are fewer. I don't know if it would be maybe better to put it in the table, and I think maybe it will be good to have it. Okay. So this is the following list of tasks that was agreed in a discussion of Casablanca, and we have to say that it was kind of short discussion, shortest than Tunis, but it's interesting though. And also, let me just say that it's really, for me, I'm really grateful we are doing this, because there is an issue always in the IC, is that we don't follow up with our own decisions and with our own process. So I think it's really a nice thing that we're taking in account what we already decided. Okay, so following tasks were agreed in the discussion in Casablanca IC meeting in December 2013. Discuss the political and geopolitical context in order to contextualize the WSF process. You can see that there are links, indeed, with Tunis. Support methodological discussion on how to organize events, super processes, and initiatives within this process, so that the WSF. Facilitate links between regional forum processes. Identify tasks and questions on the concrete facilitation of the WSF process and the work of open contributory working groups to address these tasks. Disseminate knowledge about the WSF charter and process. Develop and promote the use of appropriate communication tools. For left. Define the date, place, and format of the WSF event. Monitor and contribute to the practical organization of the WSF events. Fund the IC activities and meetings. And the last one, monitor the financing of the WSF events. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Carminda. In this moment, pass voice to Pierre. Pass voice to Pierre. Okay.
Hello. Yeah. I'm supposed to speak about the task of Casablanca. Okay, but I will. I mean, basically, I can. Because I was not prepared. I mean, I thought she was reading them, so I can. Yeah. No, but no. I am sending the link to you in the IC group, and I'm just going back to the link. Okay, so it's just a comment on what Carminda just read. So there is the idea of discussing the context in order to contextualize the effort to develop the process. It's the task of IC in the context of reaffirming WSF as an open space intercommunication process, which is described by the WSF Charter of Principles, is to develop and deepen and make better and make more attractive the WSF process worldwide. That's the main task, and it's a facilitating task. It's not a political leadership task, because the content of what is discussed in the WSF is discussed between the organizations that participate in it, and they freely get together to make coalitions, alliances, convergence as they want. So the idea is just to contextualize in which context the effort to develop WSF is happening. Then facilitate dialogue between local and global struggles and alternatives. This is a kind of being proposing that the participation in the forum focuses on trying to develop value alternatives or connect struggles. So this is invitation work to those who participate in WSF to say we use WSF to connect this and that. So we will make self-organized activities, or we will take initiative for this purpose and invite organizations to have this kind of goals and not just make panels, for instance. So this has been a criticism expressed here. So the self-organized activities can be targeting goals that organizations want to have to connect struggles, to develop alternatives. So have these goals in the mind when you participate in WSF process. Facilitate linkage between regional forum processes. That's IC. IC is the group of organizations that they say, we think WSF is a good process and we have some energy to contribute to facilitate it. That's IC, ideally. The organizations that are in IC, it means that they agree with WSF being an open space, because this has been reaffirmed, and implicitly they say we have some energy as organization to help facilitate this process. Because you cannot just come here and say, no, I come here to make a meeting once in a while, but my organization cannot help anything. Whatever it is, it can be money, it can be people, it can be ideas, but what's your contribution? So in IC, since 2018, we have two different participations. We have the organizations and networks that are welcome in IC, along with some criteria, that is, agree with the principles, understand this is an open space, and IC is here to facilitate. And so that's, as Carminda was saying in Tunis consensus, there is a willingness, and this is particularly relevant today, is a willingness to broaden the participation from Asia. Because so far in the IC, as it is now, there are two organizations that are from Asia. This is very weak. And so a big expectation from the outcomes of the good, well-conducted WSF here is to have more interest and more participation from groups, from networks from Asia. So the second way to come in the IC is being a facilitating committee of a social forum process. So that's how, for instance, Asia Pacific Social Forum Facilitating Committee has been included in IC in September 22. And the only active organization with not facilitating committee of a social forum is the Basumbata Kutumbata, which is a Finno-Indian South Asian group. Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's not different. So this is an organization, it's a network. And then you have Asia Pacific Social Forum, where you have 3 representatives. You have Bhutan from Thailand, you have Arjun Kaki, who is not here, from Nepal, and you have Meena Menon, who has, for personal reason, I think couldn't come, who is from India. So these are, at the moment, are one organization and one facilitating committee from Asia. It's very, very small. So the big elephant in the room is how many South Asian or Asian network or Asia-based social forum processes will want to come in IC, not to be a representative of their constituencies, but to contribute to facilitating WSF, because this is what is binding us. We may have political differences, cultural differences, ideological, but we are together to say we want to develop this process together. So the membership here, when I come back to the task, facilitate linkages between regional forums. It's because these facilitating committees are present in the IC. So it's a good place to discuss, but it's not that IC is the boss of those committees, because it is affirmed also that facilitating committee of a social forum process are autonomous. So they are not to receive any orders from IC. They are coming to IC to contribute to facilitate WSF, and as a byproduct, they can discuss, and it's a good place to be contacted. So that's how I can understand the linkage. Then identify task issues about concretely facilitating WSF process and launch review work on open contributive groups addressing those issues. This is a vast, partly explored field. For me, in my understanding, this is the main point, where there are so many things about websites, about methodology, about ways to communicate the participation narrative. Why and how participate in WSF? This is what can be understood as a participation narrative. And this, the IC has legitimacy to develop this narrative as a common narrative, despite our differences. So I give an example also. There is a website which is called join.wsforum.net, which has been developed for the virtual social forum in 2021. This website works. It has not received any money, but so how does the IC relate to the group, which is a little collective, very informal, where we have some people here? There is Rita, there is Jan, there is me. So we're trying to say this is a tool that could help WSF be understood as a continuous process and not a series of separated events. But this is a methodology question, and it's also a practical question. But I just give this idea of groups that could be supported by IC in the task of developing the process. It's just an example. Also, what has been attempted in this forum for the final day and the square of statement is a format, it's a common format, as there is the march to start. We are all together in a march, and then we are all together in the square of statement. These are proposals, these are experiments, and this is part of that task of IC to imagine, discuss, and then organize. So this is the point. Spread knowledge on WSF charter and process. This is the basis. What is WSF, what it is not, how to participate in it. So there is an empowerment of people coming WSF, this is how to participate. What you try to make these activities according to your goals. It's not IC goals, it's the goals of the organization that participates. So try to have a conceptual clarity about what is WSF. And this is also something that we can discuss, and it's a very deep and rich discussion. We can also have some documents on how we understand this and that. Then develop use of appropriate communication tools. This is a very challenging point because WSF is a space. It's not a corporation, it's not an organization, there is no political leadership or management leadership. So the communication about WSF has to come from the IC as a general narrative, but has also to come from the participant organizations. Communication is part of participation. And how do we try to develop this ownership of communicating the forum between the participants? So this is a very interesting and challenging point. I finish. Define date and place and format of WSF event. That's the easiest thing because it's a punctual decision. Of course, now we will have to decide when is the next forum. Also, we can decide, we can have in IC discussion about the format of this forum. It's the dialogue with the local organizing committee. It's a dialogue, so it's not just the forum will take place here and the organizing committee is completely free to do whatever he wants. And then monitor and contribute practical organization of WSF event. That we have all the experience that in the building of the WSF event, some organization of the IC contribute early, some just come to the event and participate. There is a variety of level of involvement and energy given. So, for instance, in this forum, the Jan came 1 month in advance, gave time. This is a contribution. Some organization can give money. This is also a contribution. Here we have Red for the World, which has been a contributor to the budget of WSF 2024. And finance IC activities and meeting. That's another point. The IC process. IC, I mean, the process of meetings of this body and its commission is not free. It costs money. We have been in the recent years living with zero budget, and it's possible. We just make online meetings, and the contribution of Rosa has been tremendous. But I mean, okay, it needs energy, even if it's not money. It needs energy. So how do we manage this? And I think Rosa has been saying, hello, I am here and I'm not. So let's contribute to it, Rosa. So I think this is monitor financing of WSF. It's giving transparency on how the WSF events are financed.
Thank you so much. It's summary of what we discussed from 2013 until now on the IC to see how we work, how we can work, how we can go, because we are in a situation that, like Pierre said, needs more people, more organization member with some criteria. There is a criteria, it's not open to everybody, to any organization also. Like we in this forum, we didn't see the chart even in the website because the chart of the WSF is really important to be it's when you do an inscription, you must click and read the chart of WSF. I think it's one of the tasks that we can discuss But now it's a little, we can open the discussion, maybe for the question, for the people who never been in the IC. If you have any question, marhaba.
Only one question for me.
Okay.
Only question.
Okay.
Only question for me, one added. What happened with assembly? Assembly, a World Social Forum Assembly. ¿Ok? Lo voy a decir en español. Lo voy a decir en español. Y Claudia me puede ayudar. O tú me puedes ayudar. Tú. Ok, perfecto. Después del encuentro en Túnez, en diciembre,
After the meeting in Tunis,
hemos tenido varias reuniones, las personas que nos anotamos, las organizaciones que nos anotamos para ser fundadoras de la Asamblea Social Mundial de Luchas y Resistencias del Foro Social Mundial.
after the meeting of Tunis, there is a people who propose to have this assembly met and discuss the procedures and the task of this assembly and the name of the assembly.
Hemos tenido muchas reuniones, ha sido lento el proceso, pero tenemos una carta de principios de la Asamblea.
After we met, we had a lot of meetings. We decided of the chart of this assembly, the criteria of this assembly, and the name of this assembly again is the Assembly of Resistance and Luchas.
Sí, luchas y resistencias.
Struggles of WSF.
A finales del año pasado y tuvimos reuniones globales con movimientos de todo el mundo.
After the Tunis meeting, we met a lot of time with a movement, global movement of all the world.
Y nos planteamos que para el Foro Social Mundial en Katmandú íbamos a traer una declaración política que íbamos a presentar para todas y todos.
One of the things of this assembly, we can do a political appeal. This is what the IC cannot do, a political appeal, and they decide to have it here in Katmandú.
Quiero pedir permiso para leer la declaración.
She said if she can read the declaration, is the permit to have it or no from the
Share it.
or maybe
Share
share
it,
it,
maybe
share it to all of you. Maybe
Okay.
share it. No, read it.
Read it. It's very small.
It's short.
It's short. Yes, it's short. I read in English. Okay.
I can read it.
For more. Yes.
The principles of this social assembly are of the assembly that we have said. Want to know principles for the specific autonomous process?
Entends pas.
Okay, you can say that. Just information point for Rosa reads the declaration. Yeah. Before Rosa reads the declaration of proposed by this assembly process, just if you want to have an information about the principles of this assembly, because it's a process, it's an autonomous process, different from WSF process. Together, they are in the global WSF family. That's the Tunis consensus. So if you go to the website of Nepal, I have put the link. When you go to the organizations, there are 1,400 organizations registered in WSF Nepal. You look for struggles or resistance or luchas, and struggles is fine because there are not many organizations with struggles in the name. You will find the assembly, and if you go to the tab detail that is available for each organization, you will have the principles of this process in Spanish and in English. So it's just information.
Thank you. Okay. Build peace and use it now. Nobody can doubt any longer that the multiple crises have deepened worldwide. Superpowers and market-oriented international institutions, including the European Union, Russia, and the United States of America, NATO, the World Economic Forum, and others have driven the world into a spiral and increasing competition, hate speech, and sea of bloody wars, ethnic cleansing and genocide of Palestine, the threat of a nuclear war, economic and ecological disasters, and neocolonial injustice supported by increasingly authoritarian governments. The majority of the world population are in various ways suffering the consequence of this disasters policy. The cost of living crisis affect the majority of both rural and urban people across the world. Social and democratic rights are under attack. Violence against women and other vulnerable groups in society is increasingly. Inequality is rising to unprecedented levels. Food scarcity and family increase and society are turned to peace. Democracy is at risk of becoming an empty shell influenced due to lobbying in the interests of rich people and corporations, more the people in common and repression of human rights, including the freedom of expression, global warming, the loss of biological diversity, lack of water, and other environmental destructive processes affect us all. We commit resolves to work together in order to counteract the beautiful means the imperial and neocolonial ambition of superpowers, the global corporates, and authoritarian governments. Peace is not only the absence of wars between nations, but also absence and repression of universally guaranteed human rights, including the freedom of speech, human dignity, indigenous people rights, freedom from racism and caste, the right to have your ethnic, sexual, and other identity accepted, and the right of all, including future generations, to a healthy environment. This consequence, of course, emanating from imperialism, capitalism, and extractivism, and hence we firmly denounce and oppose them. The depending intentions between state and power blocs propels and militarization of politics in nearly all fields. Independent voice and civil society have their space limited or are openly represented in all parts of the world. At the same time, we witness the rise of right-wing extremism, xenophobia, and racism in all parts of the world. What we need instead is peaceful coexistence, disarmament, and constructive solution for social and ecological concerns locally, nationally, and between nations. In order to change the direction of social and political development, we call for a worldwide mobilization of the civil society on all continents and all fields of action. We need a coherent, simultaneous struggles for urban and land reform, for right to the city, food sovereignty, and agroecology, of housing, energy, water, healthy food, education, and health care should be provided for all. We need both resistance and the building of alternatives to bring about peace and justice. We need this in every rural community, municipality, and city of the world. For this is necessary to produce not only a unit on the conceptual level,
but also a convergence of as many social and ecological movements as possible. Our own action in which clear priority for our strongest in the near future are defined. We encourage all inters to propose action towards peace and justice that are concrete action oriented and open to all social and ecological movements of the world. World Social Assembly of Struggles and Resistance of the World Social Forum, 18 February 2024, a World Social Forum in Katmandú, Nepal.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Rosie. This is the statement of the assembly. It's the first statement. It's the first assembly of this new process in the family of the WSF. It was I have one here.
I think I have something, means after I have heard Peter, I think he is pronounced Pierre, but for example, we are trying to build a world which is different, means an alternative world. And at the same time, we are not building any system which is an alternative system to challenge that or to build that world or challenge the existing world. So how are we going to build that world without making any system? For example, when we are talking about economics, we talk about the debt trap. We talk about how neoliberal economy has captured the world, and it has, in fact, made poor even poorer, and it has increased the gap in between poor and rich. So when we see from 1880 to now, the poor has increased. The gap in between poor and rich has increased. But we are not talking about building any system to counter that. So while we are combined here, we are assembling here, we are here, and we talk about, we have made many sessions, many things. So why don't we build something? Why we don't discuss something? How we come out from here, maybe making a team, making a group, which can discuss about these things and come up with some idea which can be implemented even for a trial and error basis. And let's see what we can do. Number one thing. Second thing, as I see the word social forum as the forum of poor. I even in the discussion, I have told that. And most important thing, what I feel is knowledge is power, and knowledge is not free. In fact, it has become very costly. And that's why, since you do not have knowledge, neither the knowledge to make instruments, neither the knowledge to have some scientific inventions, neither the knowledge of even doing agriculture. So these knowledge are not free nowadays. But I think we have people among us who are generous enough to share their knowledge with people so that it becomes accessible to anyone who wants to do that. And as you get that knowledge, I think the poverty can be fought out. And you can build something, what I talked about in the point number first, with that knowledge. So why not do that? Let's have, because on that time, Eric Tossett, I talked to him, sir, you are very fantastic. You have written very good book, The World Bank, but it is so costly that I cannot purchase it. 4,500 rupees. So how am I going to understand more about that? Because I had did my research on how Africa was made poor, how it was in fact made poor, how the neoliberalists have in fact destroyed their economy. But I need to know more. I need to do more research, and I need to learn more. And for that, I need knowledge someone who do that. So how, Miss, can you make it accessible? He said, okay, take my email, write me, and I will be doing that. So let's do it. when we are, I will again repeat a statement. Let's have less talk and more action. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Leo.
Thomas, and after
Thomas? Thomas?
Because
Oh.
he-
No,
Francisco, ya. La compañera. Sí, sí, la compañera persona. Pero bueno también. Okay, okay.
Thank you. I'm Thomas Wagner from Finland, Vasula Kutumbakam. I want to make 2 points. One is just about the statement that was just read and the status of it, the Bill, Peace and Justice now from the Assembly. I'm proud and happy that I was very much part of drafting this statement, and I was there in the sessions, in the activity here. So it's nice, and it's a good experiment for us, for how we can create convergence between the movements. But I must also say that I feel a bit awkward that this statement is read here in the IC meeting, when we also had from this event in Katmandú, we had maybe 60 other statements. And I must confess, I was reading, for instance, a statement from the Feminist Forum. And I think the Feminist Forum statement was better than the one I was part of drafting. So it's not that this is bad and the feminist is perfect, but it's true, this is a new experiment, but I feel awkward if we think this statement has kind of a special status. As long as everybody understands that no one can speak for the WSF, there's no harm. But that's not always clear, not even perhaps among ourselves. So that's why I was hesitant that we read this statement and not 60 other statements, which may be better. I have in front of me the document that came out of this activity. It's a process. The statement that was read is the result of a process in preparation and a process during the past few days. And the process took so long that so far the statement has 4 signatures from 4 individual persons. It doesn't represent any organization. I have it in front of me, the original with the 4 signatures we have been able to collect so far. So I wanted to just express, I'm proud of the statement, but awkward that it's presented as something. No, it's not bigger than that. We have 4 names. No.
4 names, the statement.
Okay. Yes.
Only 4 names.
Yes, because we just finished it a few hours ago. So I just want to raise that question, but that is related to my second point. I just want to say as an observation that one thing our task as IC is to facilitate the World Social Forum process, the processes. I think one thing which would be helpful is if we could facilitate transparency about the IC itself. Because my impression is, and I have it from many years, from many observers and many participants, that one reason why people don't have full trust in the WSF is that the IC has contradictions, the IC has political power battles, the IC has funding, and this has not been transparent enough. So I suggest it would be good if we could have a process in the IC, how we can be more transparent about the workings of the IC itself. One example is the question of the members of the IC. In the Charter of Principles of WSF, we say that we are against neoliberalism. So that is fine. Now, we all have our problems, our contradictions, but I think to what extent should we invite and allow members of the IC who are in close cooperation with the main neoliberal agents, for instance, the World Bank? So, or if you're funded by northern governments. So I just want to, no, sorry, I'm finishing. I'm just saying, so I would invite, I think IC, in order to facilitate the World Social Forum, we should be transparent about our own contradictions, our own operations and finances.
Francisco?
Francesco? Okay.
Well, hello, good afternoon. I'm Claudia, I come from Mexico. And I want to continue what Shanky said. We are building the World Social Forum of Transformative Economics that is going to be held in Colombia this October. So we want to work together with you. And I think the proposal that you said, it's that space that we can construct, because we are making a lot of alternatives to the financial system and the capitalism since an economical point of view. So this is just a call for the IC meeting to come to Colombia to support this effort. And we want to be in touch with you. We are not part of the IC, but I think we can work together from here to Colombia. But we are thinking in a process beyond this event. So we actually are making session every month. The process is starting.
Just one point, really important, because I feel not good, because Thomas, let them respect us, because we invite nobody from the World Bank person. We are all members that coming from all over the world. Never invite any person of the World Bank in this meeting. First, secondly, the local committee who work on the WSF 2024, maybe they have a member of it, but it's not our problem because we don't know it. Because we came, and all the respect, I'll let you speak, because you insult us like a member, and you say the transparency and the IC, I don't see any bad governance of that, because we are all new on that. Maybe I'm the oldest one in that, 20, that I am in following this, like a younger one to the old one. Maybe the next generation are coming, but please never put everybody on the same market. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just asking you because you treat us, those people.
I can explain. No.
I am
Amuda. Thomas. It was not that what Thomas. He said. He was only saying that how will we manage if, as we are against neoliberalism, if there is a group who wants to become member of the IC, and at the same time they are funded by the World Bank. How, that was the question, isn't it, Thomas? Okay, I don't. Okay, if there's something hidden behind, I don't know. But for example, our organization is also funded from the German government, but the funds used to support since the beginning, and this is now maybe 10 or 20 million euros, was always funds we are getting from our donors, what we use always to support the World Social Forum. We are not using public money from our government. Therefore, we have three sources of funds. It's the German church, it's the donations, and it's the government. But we have always used, knowing that we don't want to be responsible for that what happened to the German government. We are responsible our own, and that's the way we are using funds. So we never use public funds for that. And I think others do the same, Oxfam and all the others who have always supported financially the World Social Forum to remain independent. And I think this is justified. And that's what Hamuda also makes angry if someone is saying that there are hidden funds from any organization we are normally fighting against. That I hope that this is now clear. But this was not that what I wanted to say. It is more a critical point because I didn't understand why Rosie was allowed to read one of the assembly's decision while we have 70 assemblies. No, and for me, it's this assembly is still the assembly of division. It's the outcome of a compromise I accepted from Tunisia, but those who are behind this assembly were those who wanted that the IC become a total different against the Carter goals structured organization. So they have fully right to have an assembly. They have fully right to have this declaration, but this is not the World Social Forum's declaration. And that's what we compromised. And that's the reason why we remain in the World Social Forum. We support this compromise, that this is so, and this is even a chance for the IC, for those members who are on both sides, that if they want a declaration, they can do it via this assembly. But it's nothing special. I can read also our assembly on right to food, for example, and others can do it. So we respect this, that this Tunis compromise what was a good compromise, and we can live with.
He raised the hand before me. You can give it to me. Yeah, no,
I did not. No, but I asked before Leo. Like I asked like long time ago. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I said I asked since I asked before. Really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, no, just to respond, please, because like to respond to our friend who did some comments, what we do, action, etc. You are in the wrong place. I'm sorry. Here it's like we do actions, huh? We do outside here, outside IC. Daily, we are doing action in our organization, in networks that we have, in things. We are doing action all day. The people around the world are doing action daily. So here it's not about that. I think like a lot of people have misunderstood of what is the IC. The IC is facilitating a processus. And some of us are taking our time from our activist time to come here and speak about that. We are not going to find the solution here. The solution are already in the people and the struggles all around the world. So that's the point. So, for example, if you want to join something big, who take decision, who try to speak strategy, maybe you can join the assembly. But here we are not talking the assembly, we are not in the assembly, we are in the IC meeting. So we speak about facilitating, okay? So that's the point. It's good, it's really good. What you say, in fact, I agree 100%, but it's not a good place here. That's what I want to say. That's why, because to start again and again the conversation, no? And the other thing, I think the question, like, it was really relevant here. I was not against the Rosie read the statement. I was not against, but we need maybe to think the assembly of struggles and resistance of the global processes of the World Social Forum. It is the only assembly, or can we create others assembly? That's a blank. Then we don't have the solution in Tunisia. For example, you talk about, I don't know, I don't remember who, Tommaso talk about the Women Declaration. Can we imagine an assembly of women of the global processes of the World Social Forum? That's a question. I don't know. I'm not coming here with response, but I think that's the kind of thing that we can discuss here. Like, can we take it in the big family of the global process? Do we accept the creation of different assemblies? So that's the 6. And yeah, thank you very much to give me the floor before. Dhanyavad.
That's that word. It's not working. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, because the issue of reading the statement here has become really very concerning. So I have another concern. And that concern, my concern comes from the square process of the square. Process of the square. Yeah, square of statements. I don't know why the square of statement, when World Social Forum has a recognized understanding that we do not make any statement, then how can we insist the organizations or create a process where people, have their statement? So that is my one question. But I just wondering that how do we, read between these two? Sorry, I've written a few things. Oh, yeah. Now, WSF is about 25 years. So I have a few questions that I'll read it. Because in 25 years, lots of new people have joined the World Social Forum process. And we don't know what is IC and how it was formed and expanded and made inclusive of major tendencies of movements and people's struggles. How it is done. Nobody knows. Nobody explains. So we need to, at this point of time, when we are completing 25 years, we need to really, have this clear understanding, and make it visible that this is the way if anybody wants to be part of the IC. For example, let me cite, the 60% population of the world lives in Asia. But why Asia is faintly represented in the IC? Hardly any Asians here. So, no, I'm not member. I'm not member. I'm not the member. I'm raising the issue. And if I'm member, I don't know how I became member. Okay, that is also true, because I still consider that, sorry. So that is the one. Then the second is, the IC has taken lots of decisions that Karminda read the statement from the Tunis. So my issue is that how does IC implement and execute its decision in inclusive way, what it decides? So that is the second question that I would like to pose for the discussion. How it implements and executes a decision in inclusive way. What are the identified regional social form the process so far has decided? I know the Asia Pacific Social Forum. Does World Social Forum also recognize other social forum regional processes? So, yeah. No, because I'm ignorant. That's why I'm raising these issues. So I begin with that. I am ignorant. 25 years ago, I participated in 2004 World Social Forum. So my memories has faded about the World Social Forum process. So I would like to know. So therefore, that I want that if there are other processes, then how these regional processes are associated with the governing mechanism or the decision-making mechanism of the World Social Forum, that is the IC. Thank you.
¿No estaba Leo? Bueno, yo solo mencionar algo, algo que acordamos en Túnez y como parte del proceso es que la asamblea es familia del proceso del Foro Social Mundial, pero es autónoma. Y a la vez no queremos ser pretenciosas o pretenciosos o pretencioses diciendo que las otras asambleas que se generan o las otras declaraciones no no valen, claro que valen, sino que nos vamos a sumar entre todas. Es un proceso en construcción. Please.
Yeah. The assembly of the resistance. It's a family of the process of WSF and the council and everything. We are not pretentious. Have a pretension to be the World Social Forum or something like that. Donc, I think it's just to be clear, it's the process. You just want to show that the discussion in Tunis gives something this assembly. And for that, maybe you cannot read the statement here. It was a mistake, maybe, but it's okay.
Process in development.
Ya.
It's good that these questions from people outside the IC gives us the opportunity to clarify some of the things. For instance, with regard to, I don't know his name, I can assure you that there is a whole process of developing alternative economics since the first World Social Forum in Porto Alegre. It was especially the merit of the Brazilians, like Marcos Arruda de Pax, the Rio de Janeiro, there is a whole current which is basing the economy on cooperation and not on competition. And this has transcended even to countries of the North and is being discussed now in a very profound way and put into practice. You can find it in the internet. That's one thing. The other thing is, now I don't want to bring up the discussion. I only want to repeat the facts about the assembly process. There was a long time of about 10 years where people inside the International Council and also outside the International Council wanted to have a voice which, as an assembly, as related to the World Social Forum, can pronounce itself, because the world, the organizations, especially the social movements, need a support on a global level where there is no instance which can help this. And that was a discussion which came so broad that in Tunis, thanks to our comrades from Maghreb, Mashrek, we found a compromise. And this compromise has to be maintained. And the curious thing is that the majority of the people in the assembly are from the IC. So what's the problem? It is we all have a head and can think, but we also have a mouth and can speak. Perhaps the World Social Forum has now both, and that puts us as a common body. For the others, I would support what Francisco said, that with regard to the financial questions, I think at least since I'm here, I have not seen that many funds from the World Bank and so on. And no, not at all. We are struggling. In the last two
it's really Bread for the World, who is our main source of financing, and that's to say, let's not start rumors about financing of some extra forces coming from I don't know which star outside.
Patricia, Ahmad. Yeah, I will give just a response to Dr. Leo. The clear response to the friend of India about the thing.
Okay. I think it was very good to start this session with repeating the consensus of Tunis and also to look at the tasks talked about in Casablanca. I also found it good that Rosie read the statement, because it was said in Tunis that it should be invited to an open work group for the assembly, and now we have got the report on that. So we know that's what we said in Tunis on this part has been established and done. And then I think we should not spend too much time here discussing this statement, but look at the rest of the Tunis consensus. And then there it comes to the point raised by our friend Ashum here, who, from India, who talked about the transparency and the IC expansion, because the other points from Tunis, they talk about this, they talk about the transparency, they talk about the expansion, they talk about these things. And in order to solve, or in order to work with these things, we need to relaunch or create the commissions we discussed, we said in Tunis, because it's through these commissions we can say, okay, how do we better the transparency? Okay, how do we say what it takes to come in or out of the IC? How does we map the different regional thematic forums? And how can we, as we said, that we should and these things. So in order to do this, we need to set up the commission. So I hope that we, before we leave here, have open invitation to join the different commissions. And then the commissions, I think, they should set their own, they should formulate a proposal for a mandate and task to say, okay, this commission, for instance, I would like to join the methodology commission. And then this commission, those who want to join this should come together and say, okay, as methodology commission or finance or any other commissions, we propose that our contribution to the process would be through doing this. And then we should bring this back to the IC, and the IC can say, okay, methodology commission says this, finance commission says this, and then we can adjust it. And if necessary, and when adjusted, we can say, okay, now you can go to work with the different commissions. And if we leave here without being able to do this, I think, or I hope we can do this, and it will be a big step forward in the work of the IC.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Who?
What?
Thank you. Just to give a feminine voice a little bit, because I think we had maybe 5 men speaking. So I was not in Tunis. I have just been with the IC for maybe less than 1 year. So I tried to follow, and I represent ATTAC, one of the members of ATTAC with Jan, and now with Shema. And I must say that for me, it was very hard to understand how it was working, and I had quite a lot of explanation from the consensus of Tunis and from Jan, and well, so I finished, and I have quite a lot of experience for international meetings, declarations, and all this in maybe more in the neoliberal world. So, well, it's not something new for me, all the issues we have of discussion. But what I see is that we have so it's very important for me, the issue of transparency clarity of criteria to become a member of IC. It seems to me something very important since we want to broaden the members of IC. And in fact, why? Because we have, as our young colleagues from Quebec said yesterday, we are in an urgent situation. So we must be, how could I say, active in a way that we have to go all together and trying to take decisions. So how do we take the decision?
Tentar tomar decisões, como é que faremos as decisões, levando-se em consideração essas coisas. Isso é uma grande decisão, importante, e essa é uma oportunidade de fazer parte da organização e os membros, nós somos muito independentes dessa decisão financeira. Eu acho que é muito importante para esses movimentos sociais e também dessas vozes. Eu acredito que temos que discutir. Não sei se iremos decidir isso agora, mas teremos que ser claros em relação a isso hoje. Mas eu não, é só para dar uma ideia a vocês, e em relação ao comitê, ao CI, sim, sim, esse é mesmo que a nossa discussão aqui está bem próxima de qualquer outra discussão em relação aos poderes, às questões de poderes.
Aman?
Oman?
Thank you.
Sim, muito obrigado. Eu acho que eu gostaria de fazer, em primeiro lugar, em relação à clareza dos documentos e os processos e dessa carta de princípios. Nada me provou que está em excesso ao longo do caminho. Nós podemos retornar em relação... Eu sou de Bangladesh e do Fórum em relação ao Partido Nacional Democrático do Nepal. Sim, claro, em 2011, em relação ao CI, é uma oportunidade muito maravilhosa encontrar vocês. A proposta é que eu acho que nós deveremos propor um mecanismo para resolver em relação ao documento, alguma coisa semelhante a isso. Além disso, eu também estava mencionando que várias reuniões, não é necessário que todas as pessoas consigam entender automaticamente. Em relação aos documentos e às políticas, deveriam ser explicados de uma certa maneira. Sim, esse é muito útil. Eu acho que o acesso a esse tipo de políticas e em relação à explicação desses documentos. Em segundo lugar, a minha proposta, eu vim como um observador, claro, eu não sabia. Esses são os critérios de participação no CI. Eu estou seguindo o fórum nos últimos anos. Eu também faço parte do grupo de voluntários e até mais do que isso. Então, os critérios para a participação nos fazer incluir e também os grassroots e os gigalos. Em relação que vocês estão desafiando isso, e a representação do Conselho é também importante. Além disso, Se naquela força original pode influenciar as forças globais, por que não a representação, essa representação não é bem-vinda? Não existe essa coisa nacional, mas eu recomendo isso, porque de outra forma, como é que nós vamos dar? Se eles não estarão conectados a essa questão global e podem influenciar ao Fórum de 2024, vocês acham que as contribuições deles vão ser úteis para que isso possa acontecer? Isso é uma outra preocupação que eu tenho. E outra coisa seria o endorso. Eu estava num grupo de voluntários e eu gostaria de estender pelo menos 6, incluindo o Canadá, no Fórum Social. Apesar de estar envolvido no fórum, eu não sei ainda. Eu não sei nem se nós deveríamos fazer algumas e incluir essas pessoas jovens e também incluir na discussão se isso deve acontecer. Eu não sei se o CI, se o Fórum Social está presente em outras partes do país. Eu acho que o setor de comunicação deve responder isso. Muito obrigada.
The last year, and we finish, we start, and we will tell you about the agenda of after this. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have to recognize.
Ok, eu acho que nós temos que reconhecer que estamos tentando fazer algo impossível. Não é somente que nós estamos tentando facilitar o processo e estamos trazendo todas as questões aqui. Em quais níveis? É mais impossível ainda de organizar uma coisa específica dos direitos dos governantes, mas trazer todos juntos, reunir todos, é uma tarefa impossível. Eu acho que essa reunião está mostrando que essa inclusão fantástica, como uma experiência imperial. É muito importante que nós tenhamos esses grupos de discussão, mas nas poucas reuniões que eu participei do CI, não houve esse tipo de discussão e foi impossível entender por que as pessoas aproveitaram da oportunidade de sair fora do roteiro das questões para decidir. Não se surpreende isso. E até o grupo de facilitação, mas é importante que nós implementemos esses tipos de ideias. Meu Deus, eu estou relatando aqui. Eu tenho visto vários movimentos grandiosos porque estão evitando o Fórum Social Mundial, porque nós estamos divididos. E agora, conseguimos reunir todo mundo, graças à decisão da Tunísia. Bom, quando Carminda falou, que ficou muito claro que essa agenda em Tunis foi incluída essa ideia de começar a tentar resolver o problema em termos de uma Assembleia Geral. Precisamos ter uma Assembleia permanente, claro, isso é amplamente possível.
It as relevant that Rosie made a statement, because as Thomas made it very clear.
Falemos sobre isso para que nós possamos fazer isso funcionar. Ah, meu Deus, pessoal, acredita em mim. Aquelas pessoas que estão comprometidas e que estão tentando realizar Tunis, estão realmente trabalhando muito. Rose, eu estou tentando fazer isso, nós estamos tentando fazer essas coisas. Não é que nós estamos tentando desconstruir ou competir com o Fórum Social, mas é para complementar. E, finalmente, eu acho que o grande problema são os padrões. Nós precisamos ser um pouco mais burocráticos. É extremamente importante que espacemos essas reuniões para essas comissões, que todo esse trabalho voluntário, a transição meu Deus, esse trabalho fantástico realizado pela Rose e outras pessoas, precisamos de maneiras mais eficientes para que essa comissão possa perceber que tem um lugar para relatar, para contar as coisas. Isso é um passo adiante. Muito obrigado. Me perdoe por eu falar em francês. É muito importante que eu fale claramente e que eu faça a história bem compreendida. 4 pontos. Para mim, o CI de Katmandú não vai ser o CI de onde nós viemos. Inaudível. O orador iniciou a falar em francês.
Acter ce qui s'est dit et avancer. Ça, c'est le premier point. Le deuxième point, pour moi, en tout cas pour mon organisation, je suis mandaté ici au CI pour évoquer l'élargissement. Parce que si nous n'élargissons pas le CI, on va se retrouver dans une situation très difficile. Pourquoi difficile? Parce que les tâches qui nous incombent, au regard du contexte politique dans lequel nous sommes, international, sont immenses. Et nous n'avons pas assez de bras et nous n'avons pas assez de moyens. Donc, si on veut que ce IC soit à la hauteur des prétentions qui sont les nôtres, il nous faut absolument non seulement élargir, mais nous donner les moyens. Les moyens, c'est à la fois humain, pour remplir effectivement les commissions, les groupes de travail, l'ensemble des tâches qui sont les nôtres, et nous doter d'un secrétariat qui puisse faire vraiment son travail. Alors, pour faire son travail, que ce soit pour le IC, que ce soit pour le secrétariat, il nous faut des moyens financiers. Nous ne sommes plus en l'an 2000. Nous ne sommes plus non plus en l'an 2010. Nous sommes en 2024. À la fois changement politique, mais aussi changement de comportement de tous ceux qui, avant, soutenaient financièrement le FSM à travers IC. Et ça, je remercie, moi, les camarades, effectivement, du Népal et d'Asie, de nous redonner un souffle. Mais ce souffle n'est pas venu du fait de leur seul travail, c'est de l'ensemble de tous ceux et celles qui ont participé à ce Forum social mondial. Et si on veut que ce soit une réussite dans 2 ans, au Bénin, comme je le souhaite, en Afrique, il nous faut travailler dans ce sens-là. On ne peut pas laisser simplement les camarades africains dire maintenant c'est votre truc, allez-y. Non, c'est nous. Ça doit être un forum social mondial, pas un forum social africain. Et donc à partir de là, il y a un énorme travail à faire. Donc, première question, l'élargissement, répondre aux tâches qui sont les nôtres. Deuxièmement, trouver les moyens humains et financiers pour être à la hauteur de ces objectifs. Merci.
So yeah, I'm going to translate like I can because it speaks really, really fast. So sorry.
Então, eu vou traduzir do jeito que de la manera que pueda. Parece que para él uno de los puntos más importantes es la necesidad de oír traer más gente. Claro, estamos hablando de organizaciones de África, de Asia, organizaciones donde
organizações aqui,
Porque todo o
porque
trabalho
todo
que
o
nós
trabalho que nós
temos
temos
And we need to give to us some. We need human
y
capacity.
necesitamos de recursos humanos. Y necesitamos de financiación. Eso es un punto claro. Necesitamos patrocinadores para hacer las tareas, necesitamos personas y necesitamos de dinero. Eso para eso es muy importante porque como dije, necesitamos y si queremos en el próximo foro en África, nosotros necesitamos trabajar en relaciones. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Yo también estoy de acuerdo con Lecer, como dijo él, necesitamos de personas más para trabajar y necesitamos comenzar a trabajar. Nosotros tenemos una propuesta. Nosotros vamos a compartir un documento en el cual las personas pueden ver las comisiones, los comités, y necesitamos empezar inmediatamente. Anoten su nombre y vamos a empezar a trabajar. Podemos hablar sobre comenzar ese comité, pero ese papel es muy importante por él mismo. A mí me gustaría devolver este pensamiento. Vamos a hablar, pero también actuar. Hay otra cosa, nosotros estamos hablando de la transparencia y yo también creo que es muy deficiente, no es fácil y es eficiente encontrar ese documento en el CI. Es un documento de Túnez, claro, y seguiremos en los diferentes foros fuera del CI. Es muy difícil encontrar las respuestas para estas cuestiones. Necesitamos de un website. Es extremadamente necesario. Podemos hablar sobre eso, pero precisamos de un website concreto y hablar a un tiempo atrás que el website iba a venir, pero necesitamos utilizar esa dinámica. A mí me gustaría hablar aquí. Yo creo que nosotros necesitamos renovar nuestra cultura política, porque ¿cuál es el arte histórica? Nosotros permitimos, más apuntamos ciertas cosas y necesitamos lidiar con ciertas cosas con más cuidado. Por ejemplo, el feminismo y también cambiar algunas formas como estamos trabajando para las personas que no están hablando aquí, las personas que no están contribuyendo porque no están hablando. ¿Será que no tienen nada para decir? No tienen nada a decir. No hay una oportunidad para decir, precisamos repensar esa manera de lidiar esa metodología en relación a las cuestiones del CI y también como nosotros estamos compartiendo las palabras, tenemos la oportunidad de las palabras, las mujeres, o sobre la diversidad y renovar, pero no apenas como en el Foro Social Mundial. Nosotros sabemos que estamos cambiando, sabemos que estamos buscando los mismos objetivos. Vamos a colaborar juntos. Sí, creo que tengo otras cosas para hablar, pero después voy a decirlas. Muchas gracias.
Okay, I thought there was a little bit of a confusion about the issue raised. That's why I'm.
Creo que hay un poco de confusión aquí. Me gustaría hablar un poco más sobre eso, aclararlo. Bueno, ok, vamos. Al decir, yo voy a intentar decir esto de una manera diferente. Yo entiendo sobre el CI. Yo no creo que esto sea una cuestión solo política. Hace parte del proceso y tenemos que dejar eso claro. Vamos con claro, con un corazón abierto, un fondo abierto.
And that's
Nous
why I'm.
sommes ouverts à cette question parce que ça fait partie du processus.
Of the indoors.
Tal vez las instituciones hacen parte de esas nuevas políticas como el comienzo del CO2 y crear eso hace parte del proceso, porque realmente lo que importa, lo que realmente hace la diferencia, porque eso hace parte del proceso. Entonces, la respuesta para estas cuestiones, como una institución, también hace parte de facilitar los miembros del equipo del secretariado. Porque lo que nosotros entendemos con CI, ¿qué es el CI? ¿Qué es lo que nosotros entendemos de esa creación? Por eso se creó ese impasse con relación a lo que está pasando este año. Yo creo que es muy importante que si queremos construir algo, y necesitamos pensar que hace parte de ese proceso en la medida en que las personas se volvieron más involucradas. Yo creo que hace parte de la transparencia y de las cuestiones financieras y por eso estoy diciendo esto de otra forma. Sí, apenas un minuto. Se reúnen bien rapidito con relación a todo lo que fue dicho aquí. Tal vez yo no pueda responder esto mañana con relación a los miembros del CI, etcétera. Yo tengo escuchado muchos amigos hablando. No, sí, estamos hablando sobre las experiencias aquí en nuestros discursos. Estamos aquí con varios discursos. Necesitamos de esto, de aquí, de aquello. Sí, lo sabemos. Hemos dicho todo eso el tiempo todo. Todas estas cosas que tenemos que hacer, pero después las personas que aparecen, 2 o 3 personas intentan hacer aquellas cosas en nuestro país, en nuestra localidad, personas activistas. Eso es un problema. Nosotros no tenemos dinero, tenemos 0 dinero. Entonces, todo lo que hacemos es trabajo voluntario, por favor. Ustedes tienen que estar conscientes que necesitamos recursos de comunicación, como Carmina habló. Vamos a unirnos y trabajar. Vamos a llamar a otras personas a que se junten con nosotros, a que trabajen con nosotros. Eso es lo que a mí me gustaría decirles.
Okay, this is going to be several points, but first answering Ashok. Ashok.
Primero voy a responder a Shoki.
I'm saying square of statement is an implementation proposal for
Primero,
7 of WSF.
propuesta de implementación del principio 7 del WSF que voy a leer ahora. Organización o grupos de organización que participan del foro tienen encuentros. Es importante que esos encuentros sean hechos para deliberar declaraciones o acciones, decidir solos o en coordinación con otros participantes. La facilitación del Foro Social Mundial invita a la circulación amplia de esas decisiones sin censura o restricción alguna, pero como deliberaciones de estas organizaciones o grupos de organizaciones que tomaron decisiones. Entonces, este es el espíritu de esta declaración, la libertad. El segundo punto es sobre los miembros. Como yo dije al inicio, hay dos tipos de miembros, que sea a través de organizaciones y redes, y aquí entendemos que hay una dimensión internacional necesaria, y la mayoría de los miembros del CI son organizaciones y redes. Y la otra forma es con comités de facilitación o de procesos del Foro Social Mundial con escala temática nacional o regional. Esa es la respuesta para ti. Sobre la comisión, yo creo que es bueno que haya una discusión para intentar. Es importante que nosotros compartamos discusiones en el CI global. Cada comisión va a definir su área de sobreposición y eso es parte del secretariado. Entonces existe esa discusión para que tengamos. Eso vamos a hacerlo después de que la comisión haya hecho su trabajo. Sobre las decisiones. Alguien habló sobre las decisiones del CI cuando nosotros afirmamos que la WFCM sea el local de decisión. Entonces, el protocolo de decisiones que fueron usados durante 20 años son decisiones consensuales y necesitamos de una facilitación para ese proceso. No es que la tierra es plana, no es un negocio, eso le toca a cada organización. Entonces, ese consenso consensual necesita un protocolo para esas decisiones. Por lo tanto, entonces, si tú vas a una actividad 48, yo tengo aquí el link del WFS 2024, habla sobre ideas, cómo implementar el WSF o FSM en una formación pública para estar aquí y debatir y compartir. No da para escuchar, no se escucha. No tenemos audio. Yo propongo que en los próximos encuentros los anuncios 24, 26 del proceso WFS, el próximo evento, establecer la presentación intereses de organizaciones observadoras para que estén en el CI. Esto tal vez podamos hablar de eso mañana, pero mañana quizás las personas no estén todas aquí. Hay mucha gente, ya está cansada, mucha gente ya se está yendo mañana. Entonces, lo que nosotros sugerimos es para discutir hoy y necesitamos tomar una decisión, porque es difícil estar más 2 horas aquí hasta las 9 y continuar. Como muchas gentes ya se están yendo, por eso muchos amigos de Nepal también vengan mañana, porque sí, estamos cansados. Los de Nepal están todavía más cansados. Entonces creemos que debemos pensar en eso. Y entonces a las 8:30, en la discusión, tenemos la discusión y discutir. Y por fin, no menos importante, acabamos de terminar el concepto del site, el concepto del Consejo Internacional del CI, no del Foro Social Mundial. Todos los documentos fueron hechos upload y necesitamos tener un poco de ayuda en lo que nosotros vamos a hacer después para dar un poco de feedback. Yo también estoy muy cansado porque, como dije hace un minuto, ¿ok?
Okay. And this is the architecture of this website. It will be like this. And we have
bueno, tenemos aquí el website, el antiguo.
What is it?
When we start tomorrow's meeting.
This is what we'll discuss in the dinner. Okay?
Eso es lo que discutimos en la cena, ¿ok? Sobre el site, la pregunta es de siempre. Con los vientos del CI, ¿hay los elementos para la edición? Muchas gracias. Ahora es la hora de cenar. Entonces vamos a cenar.
The next section will be hybrid section. Them who are waiting.
La próxima sesión será híbrida. Entonces los que están esperando para entrar en la próxima sesión, ahora que están en internet, nosotros vamos a esa próxima sesión en media hora. Ellos necesitan cenar. En media hora tenemos que estar aquí porque hay gente que está esperando para la próxima sesión.
Ok, bueno. Sorry, one moment. Sorry. Queridas, bueno, y querides, vamos a cenar media hora. Voy a cerrar aquí todo por ahora. Bueno, no voy a cerrar la sala porque es la misma sala.